Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a moment today to talk about something that may sound unusual at first, but it might just be the most important message you'll hear in a long time. Your kindness, if unchecked, can destroy you. That smile you wear when you don't feel like smiling. That constant availability that leaves no room for yourself. That inability to say no, even when your whole spirit is screaming for it. Those things don't make you noble. They slowly chip away at who you were meant to become. Every time you say yes when you know you should have said no, you surrender a piece of your future. You place your dreams, your purpose, your destiny on the altar of temporary approval. And approval, my friends, is cheap. It fades as quickly as it is given. Think of the graveyard. It is not only full of bodies, it is full of potential that was never lived out. People too friendly to fight for their dreams, too afraid of disapproval to protect their own calling, too eager to please others while quietly disappointing themselves. And here's the truth. Every minute you spend chasing the applause of others, you're losing a piece of your own music. Every hour you give to things that drain you, you delay the work you were uniquely designed to do. Now let me be clear. I'm not telling you to stop caring about people. Kindness is a virtue, and compassion is a gift. But there's a fine line between kindness and self-betrayal. Too many of us cross that line every single day. You see, the danger isn't that you're too kind. It's that you've confused kindness with servitude. So let's ask some questions together. Who gets to write the script of your life, you or the endless requests of others? How much of your schedule is truly yours? And how much belongs to people who don't value your time? What dreams of yours are gathering dust while you chase someone else's priorities? Isn't it true that often the people who consume the most of our time are the very ones who would hardly pause if we vanished? Your workplace will replace you. Your so-called friends will find someone else to lean on. Life will move on. But your purpose, the one thing that only you can bring to this world, that dies with you if you don't protect it. Being too nice leads to exhaustion. You can't pour from an empty cup. And when you keep pouring for everyone else, you end up running on fumes. You wake up tired. You go to bed resentful. And somewhere along the way, you begin to lose yourself. And then comes resentment. That little voice inside that asks, why is it always me? Why am I the one who sacrifices? Why am I the one who bends? And if you let it go on long enough, resentment poisons the very relationships you were trying to protect. And then perhaps worst of all, you lose respect. People don't respect those who don't respect themselves. The message you send when you always say yes is this: my time isn't valuable, my boundaries don't matter, my purpose isn't important, and people will believe you. But my friends, you were not created to live as an assistant to everyone else's dreams. You were not born just to make others comfortable. You were placed here with a unique assignment, a gift, a contribution that only you can make. And that contribution will never see the light of day if you keep drowning it in other people's demands. Now let's talk about boundaries. Boundaries are not walls, they are bridges. They don't cut you off from people. They create healthy conditions for true connection. Think of the people you respect most in your life. Are they the ones who were always available, always bending, always sacrificing? Or are they the ones who had clarity, who valued their time, who chose wisely what to say yes to and what to decline? Boundaries aren't selfish. Boundaries are stewardship. You have been given time, energy, talents, resources, all on loan. You are accountable for how you spend them. To throw them away in the name of being nice is not kindness, it's waste. And let's face another hard truth. If people only like you because you never say no, because you always put them first, then they don't actually like you. They like what you give them. They like your availability. They like the convenience of your sacrifice. But they don't truly value you, because the real you, the one with dreams, passions, and limits, has been buried under all that compliance. There's a difference between kindness and being taken advantage of. Kindness is powerful. It says, I choose to give because I care. Being taken advantage of says, I have to give because I'm afraid of disapproval. One comes from strength, the other from weakness. One fills you, the other drains you. I've seen too many brilliant men and women waste their futures because they were afraid to disappoint others. They never started the business. They never wrote the book. They never pursued the dream. Not because they weren't capable, but because they were too nice to say no. So let me leave you with this. Don't let that be your story. You have a destiny, a calling, a purpose that demands your energy, your focus, your courage. Protect it, guard it, value it. Because when you do, something beautiful happens. You're no longer just nice. You become strong. You become respected. You become effective. And isn't that what you really want? To live a life not of constant exhaustion, but of meaningful contribution. To look back one day, not with regret for the chances you gave away, but with gratitude for the difference you chose to make. So I challenge you, the next time your heart says no, let your lips say no as well. Do not betray your future for the comfort of the moment. Because the world doesn't need another exhausted, resentful people pleaser. The world needs you fully alive, fully present, and fully committed to the purpose you were placed here to fulfill. And here is one of life's greatest paradoxes. When you begin to set boundaries, the right people respect you more, and the wrong people fall away. And though it may sting to lose certain relationships, those were never the relationships you were meant to build your future upon. The people who truly value you, the ones who see your worth beyond what you can give them, will honor your boundaries. They'll admire your strength, respect your time, and support your priorities. In fact, those relationships will deepen. They'll become richer, more authentic, more meaningful. And the ones that cannot survive your boundaries, well, those were never worth keeping in the first place. Now, isn't that something to think about? How many of us are holding on to connections that are draining us, not sustaining us? How many of us cling to relationships that demand our energy, but never replenish it? And the better question, how much of your destiny have you delayed because you were too afraid to let go? Life is too precious for that kind of compromise. Let's put this into perspective. Imagine an airplane emergency. What do the attendants say every time before takeoff? Put your own oxygen mask on first, before assisting others. Why? Because if you lose consciousness, you can't help anyone else. That principle isn't just about airplanes. It's about life. If you continually exhaust yourself, giving all of your time and energy away, what will you have left for your own purpose? And if you never fulfill your purpose, the world loses the one contribution only you could have made. Think about that. The world needs what only you can bring. Time is not a renewable resource. Once it's gone forever. Every moment you spend scattered on trivial requests, every yes to things that do not matter, is a no to the things that do. Too many people live their lives being overly friendly with their time, overly generous with their energy, and far too willing to betray their own priorities in the name of pleasing others. And then they wonder why their dreams never came true. This isn't about becoming selfish. No. This is about becoming focused. It's about recognizing that you were never meant to be all things to all people. Your greatest gift to this world isn't your constant availability. It's your authentic contribution. But here's the tragedy. Many people go through life without ever drawing a line. They become human doormats, allowing everyone and everything to walk across their time, their energy, their purpose. They wake up one day, tired and resentful, asking themselves why their goals remain out of reach. And the answer is simple. They were too friendly with the wrong things, and not friendly enough with the right ones. Some have even built their own prisons, a prison made of compliance, a cell constructed with bricks of constant accommodation, cemented together by fear of rejection, fear of disappointing others, fear of being alone. And now they sit in those prisons, wondering why their lives feel so confined, so limited, so far from the dreams they once had. But here's the good news. The key to freedom is already in your hand, and that key is the word no. 2 letters, 1 syllable, infinite power. When you learn to say no to what does not serve your purpose, you open the door to say yes to what does. But most people get this backward. They scatter their yeses everywhere. Yes to distractions, yes to demands, yes to every ringing phone, every urgent request, every pull on their time. And then when they finally turn back to their own dreams, they wonder why there's no energy left, no time remaining, no room to pursue what truly matters. Let me ask you, isn't it strange that some of the most talented people never fulfill their potential? They had the intelligence, the capability, the skills, but they never learned the power of no. Meanwhile, others, perhaps less gifted, rise higher and accomplish more. Why? Because they had the discipline to guard their focus. They understood that their no was just as powerful, maybe even more powerful than their yes. Remember, this saying no is not about rejecting others. It is about protecting yourself, your energy, your purpose. It's about acknowledging that your resources are finite. And if you spend them carelessly, you'll waste them on things that don't matter. The strongest people I've ever observed are not those who say yes to everything, They are the ones who know when to say no. Their no comes from confidence, not fear, from clarity, not confusion, from understanding their worth, not questioning it. So let me turn this question back to you. How much of your life right now is truly yours? How much belongs to your goals, your priorities, your purpose, and how much belongs to the endless demands of others? Because here's the danger. If you don't learn to guard your time, someone else will spend it for you. If you don't take control of your schedule, your phone will control it. If you don't define your priorities, the world will define them for you. Respect, my friends, doesn't come from being everyone's servant. Respect comes from standing tall, having principles, and knowing your worth. People may not like your boundaries at first. They may even resist them. But in the long run, they will respect you for them. Contrast that with the person who never says no. At first, they're praised for being so helpful, so available. But over time, they are taken for granted. Their efforts are assumed. Their sacrifices are expected. Their boundaries are ignored. And eventually, even the people they worked so hard to please stop respecting them. You see, when you put yourself last, others will too. So the lesson is clear. If you want others to respect your time, you must respect it first. If you want others to value your energy, you must value it first. If you want others to honor your boundaries, you must honor them first. Now, I must say something difficult, something many of you may not want to hear. Some of the relationships in your life right now are toxic. Some of the people you're bending over backward to please are quietly destroying your spirit. Not everyone in your life truly wants what's best for you. And you know this. Deep down, you already know. How do you identify these toxic relationships? Ask yourself, do I feel drained after spending time with this person? Or do I feel lifted? Do they take far more than they give? Do they only call when they need something? Do they ignore my boundaries? Do they make me feel guilty for chasing my dreams? Do they undermine my confidence or resent my success? If you find yourself walking on eggshells around someone, apologizing for things that aren't your fault, shrinking yourself to avoid their criticism, then you already know the truth. That relationship is costing you more than it's worth. And sometimes, the most loving thing you can do for yourself and for them is to create distance. Some relationships need healthy space. Some need to end entirely. Not because you're bitter, not because you're selfish, but because your purpose demands it. And when you choose your purpose, you don't just bless your own life. You bless everyone else as well. Because the best version of you, the one walking fully in your purpose, is the one the world actually needs. So my challenge to you today is this: take back your power. Stop scattering your yeses. Begin to guard your time. Say no to what drains you, so you can say yes to what fulfills you. Because at the end of your life, no one will applaud you for how many people you pleased, but they will remember the difference you made, the lives you touched, the purpose you fulfilled, the destiny you embraced. And that, my friends, begins with the courage to say no. Here is a truth that may be uncomfortable, but it is necessary. Not every relationship in your life deserves unlimited access to your time and energy. I'm not suggesting you cut people off at the first sign of difficulty. Life is filled with misunderstandings, conflicts, and moments that require grace. But I am suggesting you pay attention to patterns. Look at the overall effect of a relationship. Does it consistently add value to your life? Or does it quietly drain you? Does it draw you closer to your purpose? Or does it distract you from it? Your time on this earth is limited. Your energy is finite. You cannot afford to keep investing these precious resources in relationships that deplete you rather than develop you. This brings us to a critical principle. Your purpose and your priorities must align. Think about it. Many people claim to know their purpose, but their priorities tell a completely different story. They say they want to start a business, yet they spend more time watching television than building a plan. They say they want to be healthy, but convenience becomes more important than nutrition. They say they want meaningful relationships, yet they devote hours to scrolling through social media instead of having real conversations. Here's the lesson. Your true priorities are not what you talk about. Your true priorities are revealed in how you spend your time, your energy, and your money. They're revealed in what you say yes to and what you say no to. If your priorities do not align with your stated purpose, then one of two things must change. Either your purpose or your priorities. You see, this is where being too friendly creates a dangerous trap. It pushes you into living a life of contradiction. You say your family is your priority, but you can't say no to your boss, so you miss your child's recital. You say your health matters, but you can't say no to social obligations, so you sacrifice rest and exercise. You say your dream is to build a business, but you can't say no to distractions, so your dream gathers dust. This is how potential is lost. Not in one grand moment, but in thousands of little compromises. So what's the way out? How do you stop being too friendly with the wrong things and start aligning your life with the right ones? Let me offer a few practical steps. First, get clear on your purpose. You cannot protect what you haven't identified. Write down your personal mission. Ask yourself, what problem am I here to solve? What contribution am I uniquely gifted to make? Without clarity, you will say yes to anything. But once you know your purpose, you begin to see the difference between opportunities and distractions. Second, audit your commitments. Write down everything you've said yes to, all the responsibilities, obligations, and routines. Then ask, does this align with my purpose, or doesn't it? Be brutally honest. You'll likely discover that many of your current commitments are draining energy without moving you closer to your goals. Third, practice saying no. Many people struggle with no because they don't know how to say it gracefully. Prepare simple, kind statements. I appreciate the opportunity, but I'm not able to take that on. Or that doesn't fit with my current priorities. No justification is required. A clear no is a complete sentence. Fourth, start small. Don't try to change every relationship overnight. Begin with low-stakes situations. Decline the optional meeting. Say no to the telemarketer. Turn down the extra dessert when you're watching your health. Each no builds your confidence, and that confidence prepares you for bigger boundaries. Fifth, expect resistance. People who are used to your yes will not surrender it easily. They will push back. Some may try to make you feel guilty. Others may call you selfish. But remember this, the temporary discomfort of enforcing a boundary is far lighter than the permanent burden of resentment when you continually ignore it. Sixth, surround yourself with boundary-respecting people. Seek relationships with those who honor your no, who respect your time, who support your purpose. These healthy connections will give you the strength to deal with the unhealthy ones. And finally, celebrate progress. Every time you successfully say no to what doesn't serve you, acknowledge it. Every time you protect your time for your purpose, count it as a victory, because each decision is a brick in the foundation of a life built with intention. Now let me share with you a principle that changed my perspective years ago. By trying to help everyone, you may end up helping no one, not even yourself. Think about it. When you are spread too thin, when your energy is divided among dozens of obligations, you cannot give your best to anything. You show up exhausted, you contribute halfway, and the result? No real progress, no lasting impact. But when you focus, when you pour yourself deeply into the few things that truly matter, your influence multiplies. Your contribution becomes meaningful. Your work creates results. And here's what's remarkable. Often the very people who resisted your boundaries at first will eventually respect you for them. They will admire your clarity. They will see the fruit of your focus. They may even support you more than before. So here's the conclusion. You do not need to become harsh. You do not need to abandon kindness. But you must stop being too friendly with what doesn't matter. You must stop scattering your yeses and start guarding them carefully. Because the world doesn't need more people pleasers who say yes to everything. The world needs more difference makers who say yes to what matters and no to what doesn't. And my question to you is this: which one will you be?